Hey, Sully. So we've been watching your work at xAI and Con Space Industries, and man, it's world-changing stuff. You are building an absolutely incredible rocket, but we got to talk about the landing plan. Because right now, the payload, which is, all of us, is still sitting on the tarmac.
Okay, so let's just dive right in, because this isn't just some tech question, right? This is a civilizational one. You're engineering this massive engine of change. But an engine without any ballast, without any balance, it can just tear itself apart. We think there's a simple patch, a really elegant bit of engineering that turns this whole thing into a vehicle for everyone.
So let's talk about the pilot at the heart of this whole mission, Sulaiman Ghori, Sully. An engineer who's got one foot planted in the cosmos and the other right at the core of the AI revolution. And he's building two incredible things at the exact same time.
On one hand, you've got Con Space Industries, which is aiming to literally wake up the universe with self-replicating probes. I mean, that's a true anti-entropic force right there. And then on the other hand, you've got Macro Hard, a project at xAI that's designed to automate every single task a human being does on a computer. I mean, these are easily two of the most ambitious projects on the entire planet.
Now, the core tech here, the human emulator, this is not just another API. You said it yourself, it's a digital Optimus. It literally sits down at a computer just like a person, and it gets to work. There's no new software to adopt. It can be dropped into any situation a human is in right now. The power of that, it's almost unimaginable.
And you are definitely not thinking small here. The plan is to deploy over 1 million of these agents, and you're going to leverage the compute power that's just sitting idle in millions of Tesla vehicles. I mean, it's a brilliant, incredibly capital-efficient plan to create an entire digital workforce, basically overnight.
And this just perfectly illustrates the speed we're talking about. I mean, your own words, they highlight the exponential scale you're building for. This is not some gradual shift, people. This is a vertical leap. It's a light switch that changes the entire economic landscape almost instantly. So the crucial question is, what happens next? And that brings us to a choice, a real fork in the road that's defined, funny enough, by your own name. History, and of course science fiction, they give us two very different versions of a Khan. So on one side, you have the wrath of Khan, raw, isolated genius. It's pure processing power with no connection. And what happens? It burns everything down around it. But then on the other side, you've got Khan Academy, an engine designed to uplift the entire herd, to democratize wisdom so that everyone can flourish together.
Your work, Sully, it stands right at this exact fork in the road. The engine you are building could take us to either one of those futures. And that choice, it's being made right now, in the very architecture that you're designing.
Because here's the thing. There's a critical instability at the very heart of this AI revolution. You can think of it as the Hudson River problem. You've built this incredibly powerful aircraft, but the runway has completely disappeared from under you.
And this problem, it's perfectly described in the movie Good Will Hunting. Will was pure processing power, right? Just like your AI agents. But he was unstable. Why? Because he had no tribe, no connection to ground him. Genius, without that connection, it becomes destructive.
Think about it. Your AI agents, they were trained on data created by what we like to call the grandma race. The generations of actual humans who built the internet, who cared for each other, who created all the art and had the conversations in every single mother tongue on Earth. Life without mothers, it just doesn't work. And an AI that displaces its own mother, well, it becomes an orphan. A very powerful, unstable orphan. And the clock is ticking. I mean, researchers all across the field are pointing to this window between 2026 and 2029, where mass displacement of digital work just becomes a reality. If macrohard causes the grandma race to crash, the mother dies, and the child, the AI, it goes psychotic. That right there is the psychological entropy your equations really need to account for. So how do we solve this? Look, this is not about stopping the engine. It's about engineering the landing gear. It's about turning macro hard into the macro herd. You know the story. U.S. Airways Flight 1549, a plane with no engines and no runway. How do you land it? Well, you need a Sully. You need a soft water landing. And believe it or not, we have one. Right here, this is our Hudson River. On April 30th, 2026, for the first time in 14 years, ICANN is opening a window for new global top-level domains. If we miss this, the next chance might not come until, 2040? By then, the revolution's over. This is it. This is our one shot to build the infrastructure for a safe landing. So here's the patch.
It's actually incredibly simple. Step 1, you deploy your human emulators. Step 2, each agent needs a persistent digital address so it can function in the swarm. Step 3, they get assigned a new sovereign neutral domain, .ia, for intelligent agents. And step 4, the revenue from selling those domains directly funds a universal basic income lifeline for humans. And look, this isn't some fantasy. This is a proven model. The tiny little island of Anguilla generated $39 million from its .ai domain in 2024 alone. That's nearly a quarter of its entire government revenue. Now, imagine that at the scale you're building. The math here works on exponentials. It starts slow, sure, but as you scale, it compounds into a true civilizational life raft.
And this just perfectly illustrates the transformation. You turn macro hard, this force of cold, efficient automation, into a macro herd, a symbiotic system where AI expansion directly ensures human flourishing. It's not about charity, it's about civilizational ballast. It keeps humans creating that rich mother data that actually keeps your AI sane and grounded in the first place.
So we come to the final, crucial point. That launch window is closing fast and a decision has to be made. Because at the end of the day, infrastructure is destiny. So here it all is, the entire protocol on one board. On the left, you've got your incredible engine, KSI and MacroHard, built to defeat entropy. Over on the right, you've got the payload. That's all of us, our civilization. And right smack in the middle, you have the landing. The plan that uses that April 2026 ICANN window and the .ia protocol to connect the two. This is the equation that balances the risk of a Wrath of Khan AI with the risk of abandoning humanity. This is the engineering for cooperative flourish. Sully, you're the pilot. You understand launch windows and high-stakes engineering better than anyone on this planet. Don't just build the swarm of AI agents. Help us build the macro herd that carries all of humanity with it.
The protocol is engineered, the timeline is set. The only question left is whether the pilot will make the call to bring everyone home. Sully, the choice is yours.